You ready?
Yeah, I'm born ready, live ready.
Nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. Remember, we're
Hello.
talking to each other.
Okay.
All right.
Hello. Well, no,
Hello.
I'm talking to them. What
Okay.
am I going to look at you? Hello. Welcome
Have you
back
ever seen a
to
podcast?
apparently not. Welcome back to Eat Meat and Question
Who are you
Everything.
talking to?
Oh gosh. Hi. We have
Hi.
Jeff here today. If you're not watching the shenanigans, my husband,
I'm
Jeff
still here
Luna.
even if you are watching it.
This is true.
You spring a leak?
Yeah. Okay, so there's so many random things that are going to happen today. Am I looking at you right now? This is so weird. And his toes are so close to me. It's freaking me out. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we put up a question box on Instagram to see what the people wanted. I don't want to get like too depressing, so we'll see where
Great.
this we'll see where this goes. I've been struggling lately, and I've shared a little
Oh.
bit on Instagram. So like maybe at the end, if we have time and it's like not womp womp, you can give me some coaching because other people are like going through the same thing too. So we'll see what,
And what's going to make you listen this time?
and I'll be receptive to it. But you can't touch me with your
I'm
toe.
not touching, not touching.
Okay, so this is going to be random. There will be some like coaching things, so like carnivore topics, but a few of these were specific for you. And when I read this one, I was like, oh, I got excited. Someone was asking your three favorite YouTube channels at the moment. But before you answer, allow me to answer for you.
We're married, right?
No, I want to know what yours are, but I have to like chime in on a couple. So you have a whole other life when I go to sleep. So Lord knows what you're doing. But when you're waiting for me to be ready to watch our shows, you'll be watching something for a few minutes while I, go to the bathroom and get food 80 times.
Yeah.
And so I've picked up on a few things that you're watching. And one of them is this show, whatever, right? Like what the hell is it?
Oh, the whatever podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of came out of the blue. It showed up and it's just this dude with it's usually
Like
a bunch of women.
panel.
Yeah, a bunch of women and some other guys on there as well. And they just talk about stuff.
Yeah, but
But
here and here is what my perception of it was, because it's literally I'm just seeing like a few minutes of this like here and there. It seemed to be that like the majority of the women on the panel are like strippers or only fan girl, or no, is that right? Only fan? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Stop. Once I said that it sounded weird. That's what it's called, right? Only fans? Why are you
What?
doing
Like
this?
Home Depot? Yeah. Well, it's about half and half. So usually they'll have like half of them will be strippers or OF girls or something like that, and then the other half will be normal students or people against that, and they'll
And yeah,
kind
this
of talk about
and
it.
to like come to your defense, not that you're sitting
I
there.
don't need to be
Well, it
defensive.
just sounds weird, like, oh, you're sitting there watching a thing with all these, but
Well, they're not on stage. They're not performing.
I know, but it doesn't really always have to do with that. Well, I guess it is.
No.
Anyways, so I didn't know there was regular people on. My perception was it was a lot. It was just strippers and OnlyFans girls. So you're watching this episode one time. Do you remember this? Do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
Okay, you're watching this, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, pause it.
Oh.
I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, we know her. I'm like,
You know her.
Well, you met her too, I think.
Yeah.
Well, she was at KetoCon.
Yeah.
It was Olivia. From her name was the Carnivore Ballerina, and I'm like, oh my god, is she like on OnlyFans? And no judgment if whoever is, but I was like, oh my gosh, like this is hysterical. And Jeff's like, no, there's like normal people on there too, and I'm like, oh gosh. So hi Olivia, I was totally thrown for a loop. I totally thought you were a hooker on the side. Anyway, so that's like one of the things you watch, and another one I have to say, watch that guy that goes.
I'll be back when we're done. When the podcast is over.
That goes to the post office and he tries to like film.
Oh.
Because it's actually when he first started watching this, I'm like, you are so weird. And then eventually I'm like, oh my god, can we watch another one?
The First Amendment audits.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, you can elaborate on
No,
that.
yeah, people. Who am I talking to?
I don't know.
Okay.
See, it's weird. You have a camera,
No.
but you're talking to me.
No, it's videos of, and some of them can go overboard and get kind of annoying, but They are people that test our government spaces, public spaces, cops, police, what was it, post offices, libraries, for the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Yeah, freedom of speech and being able to go into public.
Well, he's filming them. Like he'll walk into a post office and he's filming and just being like, I'm just filming. And they're like, oh no, that's illegal, blah, blah, blah. So it's always like this conflict.
Yeah, they're trying to kick him out of public spaces.
Yeah.
Like, we're in public.
It's so weird, but it's like kind of addicting. So I will let you now answer. What are your 3 favorite YouTube videos or YouTube channels right now?
I don't even know them by like channels. Like, I don't know.
Well, what are you watching on YouTube? What topics? I mean, are you watching any like carnivore stuff?
I think I've consumed all the carnivore content there is. No, things will pop up, whether it's, the people, Chafee.
Or me, Barry, which is like
you like, freak out and
because I'll be
convulse.
Like in there like washing my face and all of a sudden I hear, hey, this is what I am like, oh my God, I do not want to listen to myself.
That's when I turn the volume up.
So annoying.
Yeah, I mean, carnivore stuff will pop up. I watch reaction videos sometimes.
Weird in itself too, but it's like weirdly entertaining.
Well, you are my live reaction video. And that's why I want to watch stuff with you, because it's
that's so funny.
It's the vicarious experience of the first time
they're
going through that, and so you get to see kind of that. So I mean, that's why they're so popular.
Yeah.
I don't know that weird, rabbit hole stuff, some conspiracy stuff,
which is another topic on here that I don't think you're going to want to get into at all.
Probably not. I don't know, whatever, just weird how-to stuff. Usually, if I need to learn something, I need to do something, I'll look it up, YouTube University, and then that's what I'll hyper fixate on for 3 weeks. And then, yeah. So no particular shout-outs.
No specific channel, but whatever. And do you remember the guy's name that does the post office thing in case anyone out there wants to watch
There's a lot of them, but the one I think...
Like
Amagansett Press. I didn't know that was a real word. It's a city.
It's in like New York,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been there. That's why I know that.
Amagansett
Somewhere
Press.
On the East Coast.
Dude with a fabulous beard.
Yeah. Your toes are touching me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, these are in particular order. Maybe I should have. We've kind of touched on this, so we can be brief or not, whatever. What do you do when your spouse isn't on board with carnivore?
Leave.
Find a new one.
Well, it depends. Are they just not on board for them to do it? Like, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. I'm still going to eat donuts, or even if it's not that, whatever they're eating. Or are they actively against you doing it?
That would be annoying.
Yeah, it really depends.
If they're like vocal.
And this can branch out, but are you trying to get them on it for particular health reasons? I won't name a particular gender, but some of them like to not complain, but voice their own concerns, but then not want to do anything about it or listen to it. Particular advice. I didn't say anything. No, joking. But yeah, it really depends. Are they against you doing it? Are they just not want to do it themselves? If
I'm gonna just assume
let's pick a lane.
They're probably like their spouse isn't on board, like still wants other things, like, and now you may have to are you cooking those things for them?
Right.
I would not be cooking those things for them. Okay, I would cook you some broccoli, but I'm sure as shit not going to make you delicious mashed potatoes that I can't eat and try. I feel like that would be hard depending on the person.
Now we're getting into other topics.
Other issues
of that, because I think if, again, there's the belief of the health aspect of it, of, these aren't good for you. You don't want to enable something from someone that you love to do, but again, we say it's bad. Not to say that it's not, but now we're getting to I think you should still cook or whatever. But if you're someone that has real issues with it and problems with it, and are we talking? It is a difference if you're talking about the wife or the husband. or whoever is primarily doing the cooking. But there's a lot of word salad right now.
Yeah, have we given her anything
Okay.
to help?
It's a
I
her?
have to cough.
Okay.
Sorry. Can't edit this out. There's no editing here.
Is it a
Sorry.
her?
Yes.
Okay, so her husband's not.
And yes, without having any further details, I'm
Yeah.
just not on board.
Again, it depends. Have they been open to learning anything about it? Will they watch any videos on it? If you send them some of these videos, I mean, a lot of these are like hour-long videos, right? No one's going to watch that if they're not even
but like the shorts
interested in it.
and
Yeah, the basics of it. And if you're doing it, have you experienced benefits of it? Have you lost weight? Have you cured or helped heal any ailments?
Lead by example.
Yeah, so if he's seeing that, that should help. But it is tough. When anyone's doing any diets or lifestyle stuff within a relationship, if both aren't on board, it does make it more difficult.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I don't know if I helped at all, but try to get them to read or watch stuff about it, see examples. What?
Really, with your vibrating phone?
Nobody can hear that.
I guess this one's more for me. Did I want to be a carnivore influencer, or did it just happen? I mean, it essentially just happened. I didn't know. And God, the influencer word is so weird and cringy, but like, I mean, what else do you call it? Yeah, when I feel like I did a video where I talked more about this in my journey. I don't remember what video. So I won't go too deep, but I was showing up on social media doing my low carb keto stuff, and it just naturally transitioned because that's what I was doing. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to try carnivore now. So here we are. It wasn't like I was carnivore for a while and I'm like, I'm going to document this. I was just documenting what I was already doing because I was already showing up. And then, are you telling me you have the posture? Am I sitting like a hunchback? And it just spiraled from there.
You're giving me a lot of J-Lo vibes.
That is so funny you said that, because when I was getting ready, I'm like, I feel like I'm trying to look like J-Lo because my hair is like wet from the shower and it's like slicked back and probably not the most flattering for me. So, and then I put on some earrings to make it look like I'm not schlubby in my schlubby clothes.
What's your go-to order from the bodega? Do you get the orange drink?
If you know, you know. Oh my gosh, she's so full of shit. That's a fun little like rabbit hole to go down. Okay, speaking of rabbit holes, conspiracies.
You leaned in on my toe.
I know. Toe situation. Are you, I know when we first talked about you being a podcast guest like permanently, you're like, no, I don't want to put my opinions out there too much. So are there any conspiracies that you would like to touch on, or are we just going to leave that for me?
I mean, I can list what conspiracies there are
out there. What are your favorite
exist
to dive into right now? You don't have to give your thoughts and opinions on if you believe them, but
Bigfoot is a good one. the Yeti. Actually, what I love getting into is the historical records. We get into the pyramids, and how long, like when were they built? How were they built? Not necessarily that's aliens or whatnot, but the technology, and there's arguments on both sides. That's why it's a conspiracy theory. But it was like the stones are machined too perfectly. They took them from thousands and thousands of pounds from miles away. Not just the pyramids, but there's also pyramids found. There's pyramids all over America. And how the cultures that never had potential contact with each other have very similar things, and maybe that's just an aspect of humanity. We're still like, they've rediscovered an island I read recently that had been lost. I mean, they're uncovering jungles that have whole cities like a mile down, and there's just stuff that we still have no clue about.
Well, speaking of that reminds me of the interesting rabbit hole of what's the one on the South Pole? Antarctica, is that right? You can't have dead space and silence by staring me down for being an idiot.
I had nothing to do with that. What about Antarctica?
No, that's just an interesting one to go down. And like, because when they're when they're doing the tours to like show you, it's like literally just the tip. Like it's
Yeah.
a small little thing, and like the rest is off limits. And why is it off limits? Like you can't even like fly a drone or nothing. Like they're
Yeah.
100% hiding
Military
something.
controlled. Yeah.
What else do you like?
Um,
You got to say something.
that's I
You
am.
can't think. I'm not editing out any
Then
dead
then
space.
don't edit it. It's
I know, but
video.
it's like not everyone's watching it.
All right. Well, I'm
NASA,
thinking. Yeah, NASA, and
the
what
shape
else?
of the Earth.
Oh, the flat Earth. Yeah,
That's
that's a conspiracy. The moon
fascinating.
landing conspiracies. Um, oh, I saw one just the other day. That maybe this is an old one, but that Katy Perry is John Benet
Oh,
Ramsey.
you sent it to me. I'm like, I saw it too, but that's why you
Yeah,
sent me. Jeff sends me like 20 TikToks a day. I was getting caught up
yeah,
on those last night.
yeah. There's a lot of one. There's the Challenger.
I was gonna say, is that going back to NASA? Is that the one where
It
everyone?
exploded.
Yes, but
Yeah.
they're all. So what? Brief everyone on that.
Well, the conspiracy is that that was faked, and they're all still living, and they're.
Because it aren't they? I mean, I've
I don't
seen
know.
stuff where it's like they didn't even change their names, so like
Yeah,
the names are the same,
but then
and
the
they look the
argument is
same.
like, why would you not change the name?
Maybe that's too
Yeah,
hiding in
that's the
plain sight. I
conspiracy.
don't know.
Yeah,
That's a good one
I don't
though
know.
too.
What's the next question?
Electrolytes. Someone said they're tired and that they're taking electrolytes. Like, what else could be making them tired? And I don't know how new they are. I feel like anything that happens in the beginning is normal.
Yeah, I mean, it could. Everyone's different. It could take, months, 6 months sometimes. It's a real adjustment to go through that. So keep doing the electrolytes,
Sleep,
sleep, fat.
eat enough. Make sure you're eating enough.
Yeah, it is easy to undereat doing this. So make sure you're eating enough.
Which that chaps my ass. I don't know who's and so many people. I just am not hungry enough, and here I am. Like I probably gained 5 pounds in the last 2 weeks. So yeah, eating enough, getting enough fat. You may be too tired to go exercise, but that helps.
Well, yeah, that's a double-edged sword because you're too tired to exercise, but the exercise will give you more energy. So make sure you're lifting, lift weights.
All right, is that period? We're done with
Yes.
that. And then speaking of electrolytes, someone was asking me like what I drink if we make our own. You can make your own. Element actually has a recipe on their website to make your own, or you can buy theirs. So I do use their packets. I think they taste good, but what I've switched over to lately, what are you doing?
I'm just making faces.
Is Beam Minerals. So it's
Okay.
minerals and like electrolytes and all that. It came highly recommended by Danny Conway and coach Jen Winkler, who I trust both of them with like health stuff like that. So like I'm blindly trusting to
Everybody
take
blindly
them.
trusts
And they're
somebody.
good. Like they're good and I'm happy with them. And if anyone wants to try those, not to be like annoying and make a plug, but what's my discount code? I think Luna. So Beam Minerals, the discount code's Luna. You save like a good amount. I think like 20%. And I was a paying customer. Well, I still am, but before I even got that discount code,
That's probably rubbing.
rubbing on the microphone.
Open up your.
I paid for months of them, and I still am. But I mean, before I even share the discount code, so I do truly like them. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so this someone is asking, what do they do, especially for like PMS time? What do you do, Jeff, when you're PMSing?
I leave.
And you have like a sweet tooth, like what snack ideas? Now, I feel like this is funky timing or interesting timing to be asking me because I have had the most horrible PMS. Like I feel like it's like never ending too. Why are you so noisy in this chair? And like this is like the first month, I'm almost 2 years carnivore, where I've like actually like struggled with cravings and mood stuff and overeating and emotionally eating. So I will say, do as I say, not as I do, because I know all these tips and like the past few days I haven't even cared. So anyways, if you're having like an in the moment sweet tooth, first I will say get rid of all sweeteners. Like even stevia, that could be triggering for you. If you're still having sweet things, it can make you want sweet things. Check your toothpaste. If you're chewing gum, like little things like that. So get rid of everything sweet. And in the moment, what?
Oh, say what was the original question exactly?
What like snack ideas for a sweet tooth? And I would argue like I would try to not have snacks. But in the moment.
Well,
Like,
she didn't say sweet snacks. You
well,
do like
just
butter bites.
right, but yeah, and I'm getting there.
When?
I was just about to say, have a bubbly water, have a pinch of salt on your tongue, have a bite of butter, but just like eat enough. Like if you get enough nutrition during the day, you shouldn't want to be like snacking at
Right,
night.
but she's talking about a hormonal PMS craving.
Yeah, and I feel like those come by very easily if you're not having sweet things. Like you can get through that. Just fat, I feel like, is the main thing.
So your answer is to suck it up?
Well, I would just like I would want to ask more questions. Like, what are you
Yeah.
eating right now? So no, just eat more, have more fat, have some electrolytes. Yeah, the brown. Like, if you actually like want food snack ideas, I mean, if you need to be snacking on something, pork rinds and sour cream are great. But I feel like try and not snack and just like have like big decent meals. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, to answer the question,
I answered the question.
no, you told her to fuck off. um, I mean, again, are you having sweet stuff? Do you want a sweet thing, or you want to avoid that? But yeah, butter bites, especially the caramelized, or
Well,
not the
yeah, because they
caramelized, but the
taste like
browned.
yeah, they taste like
Yeah,
caramel, which can also not be great for
it all
someone. Like
depends.
I taste the sweetness in heavy
Yeah.
cream, and I could chug that, and look how that's going for me.
So that, what is this? A sweater?
Yes. What do you mean?
Well, it looks like
It's like a zip up hoodie.
it looks like my coffee, creamy coffee color.
Okay. And
Nothing. Well, you said cream, and I thought of
okay.
cream and coffee, and then I
Okay.
saw that, and I thought it looked
Is
similar.
this your ADHD brain
Oh, this is
in
my amazing
action?
brain connecting all the dots. Yeah, brown butter bites, sticks of butter. I really don't know.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Sorry.
As a carnivore, what does your pantry look like?
White?
Do you do you want to answer? Do you know what's in our pantry?
Yeah.
What's in there?
Pork rinds.
Not anymore because I
Meat
ate 2
sticks,
bags
beef
yesterday.
sticks. We got some of those, that cheese.
Wisps.
Electrolytes. There are
Bags of salt.
bags, pounds of salt.
Protein powder.
Protein powder, some bars.
Pork panko. Ton of that. I think that's pretty much it. I guess. And there's some like jam for the kids. We do have some
Yeah, but
gluten-free
carnivore
pretzels.
stuff.
Oh yeah, so that doesn't count.
No, I think that's basically,
And that's it.
yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, so this is a random thing, and right when I read this, I went and ordered it, and I don't know how to say it.
Let me see.
They're asking the toothpaste hydroxyapatite. Is that
Yeah.
that's how it's spelled? Is that
Yeah.
how you say it? They're like, do you use that? I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to order it. So I've been not using fluoride, and my dentist, I guess she's the hygienist, is like, she's like, okay, we had a whole conversation.
Okay.
She's like, I'm very crunchy even as like what I do, but she's like, I do see like the benefits in fluoride, but I do understand how large amount, like she gets it, but she's like, an alternative to fluoride would be like that. And so we have like, and a while ago we switched the kids over to that, which the brand we use is Risewell. It's expensive though, it's insane.
Yeah, but it lasts forever.
Well, yeah, because they're using a rice size. I use a.
That's the other problem.
Another
Use
brand.
2 rices.
Another brand, she said, I should have wrote them down, is I want to say like Burst or something. And then there was something else. There was another one she mentioned, and I just ordered it. So I've been using fluoride free, but my teeth, like I have crap teeth, and they're like, you've got to do something.
Yeah.
Like do the fluoride even just once in a while or whatever. So that's my.
Was there a question in there?
Yeah, she was asking if we use that because
I mean, if we use that, yeah.
Questioning everything,
right.
You know, you question everything. And that is my do not kick my almost said my flipper, my slipper.
You slutty flipper.
I mean, so that's it. That's all we have. There was well, I was gonna zag, but now I'm gonna zig. Okay, then since we have like a couple minutes, let's listen to Coach Jeff's thoughts. So just to recap where I've been, because I shared last night on Instagram stories, and so many people are like, yes, me too. Okay, first of all, it's like so many people, we're still struggling to not eat too much on carnivore. And I think where it can get slippery is if we are just focusing on meat, then like that would most of the time be okay. But then I think we kind of veer off and maybe have some pork rinds. What are you looking at? Is this what I do to you when I look at all the things on your face? Pork rinds or like bacon or cheese, go to the things that we shouldn't be prioritizing. Maybe we emotionally eat. Like that's what I've been doing. I've been ravenous, like genuinely hungry these past couple weeks. But the last few, I have been eating my feelings and eating like I ate a lot of bacon last night when I wasn't even like hungry. I was just trying to numb out. And I'm not alone. And I know you don't have the experience of like food addiction, but do you have anything you want to say about it besides like sometimes I just want to like wire my jaw shut?
That's
You
a
have
lot.
any thoughts on this?
In general, on food addiction, or just how to better control not eating.
Yeah, because it's like it's so easy to be like just don't eat it, but it's like
Yeah,
when it like takes over where it's like you don't care and you want to do it anyways.
care. No. Are we talking about, if we're eating carnivore and it's
Yeah,
still clean
that's the
carnivore?
thing. I haven't gone off
Yeah,
carnivore.
but
It was
just eating a
tempting
lot.
last night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but just eating a lot.
eating a lot and eating when you're not hungry, emotionally eating. But see, you also don't struggle with that, or do you?
I mean,
I mean,
not emotional eating.
you
Um,
could probably eat some bacon if you weren't hungry, but you're eating for hunger
well,
though.
again, and here's the thing. To your point, like you said, if you're eating more of a lion diet and not like everything that fits into carnivore, you're not, again, you're not going to overeat on steak and ground beef. You're not. Cheese, you can overeat on. Milk, you can overeat on.
I almost had dairy last
Bacon,
night.
like you said, bacon. Even bacon's tough, but you can still eat a
Because
lot of
it's
bacon.
rich,
Yeah,
yeah, and so your body is like, no, thank you. But
yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. If you're having trouble, if you're talking about just weight loss, you're trying to lose the weight, and that's your overeating, because especially with cheese. I mean, the caloric density is massive.
mhm.
So if that's the issue, you got to cut it out.
You know what someone mentioned, and this actually it makes me sad, but it makes sense. Like to not even salt your food because then you're truly like if you think
Yeah,
about beef, okay, you're truly eating for hunger if you're going to eat unsalted beef,
yeah.
because even like steak, it's like okay, I'm full, but maybe one more bite. You like
Is that
dredge
savory,
it,
juicy?
yeah, like
Yeah,
get it in like the tallow that's still in the pan with salt. Like you could still, like, I'm not going to overeat steak like I would pork rinds or something, but you could still maybe have an extra bite or two. So if you're removing the salt, which I don't know if I feel like this is a rabbit hole right now in itself. I saw like Bella doesn't use salt, and I think like Dr. Lisa is even doing something with no
okay.
salt. And then, but this person specifically
Yeah,
was like, I'm drinking it, so like
okay.
still getting salt, but not using to salt their food. I thought that was very interesting. Like, well,
Yeah,
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's
okay.
like wow, like you'll really be eating for fuel and not because something tastes good.
Right.
So that could be an idea. But I don't know. Any thoughts on the emotional eating?
Um,
Get therapy.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to answer anything on if you've got some deep seated trauma that, or genetically you just can't handle, not can't handle, but if you get stressed or anxiety or sad or whatever and you turn to food, that's not something I'm going to be able to speak to or correct on that.
But that's like, I mean, it just
I mean,
kind of,
typically though,
go ahead.
speaking.
You stopped talking, so I'm filling in the
I
dead
paused.
space.
I breathed in. Typically, what with any, I'm blanking. Not vice, but
Like
any.
addiction.
Yeah, it's a dopamine
Yeah.
search,
Yeah.
whatever it is. So typically, the emotional eaters are eating the sugary breads or cookies or ice cream because you get that dopamine hit. It's like, yeah, it tastes great, but your brain gets that.
Hmm.
So, and there is a little bit of that in like what we just talked about, the
We
cheese
can
and
still
stuff,
find that in carnivore foods.
um, the carnivore adjacent foods. Yes. So again, obviously, that would be something I would recommend anyone try to resolve, but plug the hole first, or get the water out of the boat, whichever way that metaphor is going to go.
Never heard that.
um, and just remove those. If that's the issue and you're eating cheese wheels by the wheel, then you got to cut that stuff out. Just
Yeah.
don't have it, and then you won't be able to.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard though. And I haven't even told you yet. I joined Dr. Lisa's
Exclusive.
I joined Dr. Lisa's community group last night. It's like carb sober. And why do you keep I just like losing oh
Nice.
because it's like I feel like I don't know if there's ever really like a way to like fix it or get to the bottom of things. I think it's an everyday thing. I think just like someone's an alcoholic and they have to wake up every day and decide to not drink. Like you don't stop drinking and then you're not an alcoholic anymore. Like you still are and you're one sip away from going downhill. And I feel like the food thing like gets dismissed by a lot of people where it's like I'm now almost like starting to replace things with food. I mean, I guess I've always
Yeah.
had an issue, but it's like, okay, well, I don't drink anymore. I don't do drugs, but now like my drug of choice is food. And I feel like carnivore makes it so much easier. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've literally been almost 2 years with like no issues, but then like lately I feel like old habits are creeping back
It's
where I'm
normal.
overeating things, even if they're carnivore, to numb out. And yeah, and it's the dopamine hit. Like I don't want to sit with my feelings right now, so I'm gonna take this bowl of pork rinds with cinnamon on it and make myself happy.
Meditation.
I know there's a whole list of things to like not do this, but sometimes you get in that mode, and
Yeah.
anyone that's binged would know like there's no talking yourself out of it. Like when you're like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Like I don't care about the tips and tricks. Like
Yeah.
I am going to eat until I feel sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say. So that's kind of where I've been at these past few weeks. But yeah, the answer to that would be kind of like the tips we gave earlier on sugar cravings or just sitting with your feelings. Like sitting with your feelings and not doing anything is freaking insane. You know, don't
Yeah.
to not even distract yourself, to not even meditate or go walk or do any of that. Like just sit there and feel that. But yeah, some other things would be like meditation, walking, exercise.
Exercise. If you feel, I mean, you can put in a rule for yourself. If you feel like you're going to go, and this isn't to earn that, but if you feel like you're going to go binge on something or go eat something, say, oh, I have to go do 20 push-ups, or I have to go do jumping rope,
Yeah, and
or
that
something. And yeah, and again, yeah,
distraction.
not to say, like I said, not to earn what you're going to do, but a mental
In
distraction, physical
yes, in
distraction.
hopes that you will then not
Yeah.
want to go do that after. So, all right. Well, those
Yeah.
are some good tips for those who are struggling. And yeah, find community. I'm hoping like with the talking to other people in Lisa's group that are also, you know, struggling and going through her old videos will be helpful. Yeah.
Good.
Anything else you want to share in this video before we hit end?
I think that's it for today. I think it's been very productive. Thank you for having me.
Toes. Oh my gosh. Okay. We'll see you guys next time.